bit better. We're going to talk about
Maybe,
that.
maybe sometimes there's medications that help us all through this. Whatever you got to do, you got to do.
Well, let's talk about let's talk. Wait,
Let's,
who we got picking here, Eric? I haven't
um,
seen the other room.
the Patriots are picking. Before we get into anything, let's just summarize what's happened so far in the
Yes, let's do
second
that.
round. The picks that came off the board, we were talking a little bit off air, but it kind of frustrating us a little bit because a lot of those people are guys that we were mocking. The Browns take Carson Schlesinger with the 33rd pick, followed by Nick Emanwari to the Seahawks, followed by Quinshawn Judkins to the Browns again. Surprised that they took Judkins over Travion. Then the Dolphins trade up and take Jonah Savanaia. And now the Patriots take Travion Henderson. So boom, boom, boom. A lot of those big guys that were mocked to the Bengals go off the board. We were talking about a little of this before, but Mon, you've got some feelings about all these guys. Why don't you talk to us about this?
Yeah, I've had some draft crushes. I analyzed some of the players that are available in day two, and surely hey, first five picks of the draft, pretty much all of them are gone. Uh, I really like
Just like the high
Emanwari.
school crushes, right?
Yeah,
They're all gone right away.
but they regretted it 20 years later. I mean, look,
Right.
come
Well,
on.
and so will all these teams.
No, but there's going to be some good players there at 49 if we stay at 49. Trade back is a real possibility. Duke Tobin, I think, has said that in every interview that he wants to accumulate more picks. Still a fluid situation of Trey Hendrickson. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, you know what? We'll be on the clock here soon enough, and there's going to be some good players there. I just hope they don't reach. I know we talk about guard. I don't want them to pick a guard just because they need it. Somebody that has a third round grade to use them and pick them in the second. I don't want that. I'd rather go BPA. I think that's the safest and best thing to do. If there's a guy that if Mike Green is there, why not double
Yeah.
up at defensive end? Do it,
Yeah.
and it makes your team better. So we'll
So
see what happens in a few picks.
let's throw these out there. The top players available still are Will Johnson, Mike Green, Donovan Ezrake, Darius Alexander, Siobhan Ravel, Shadur Sanders, Trey Amos, Mason Taylor. Let's keep going down. Arante Ursary is still there. TJ Sanders, Kevin Winster Jr. A lot of names that we talked before. We go to you, Ace. Any of these names really jump out at you that maybe we should take at 49, or maybe it'll still be there if we trade back?
I know Jake's gonna hate this, but Will Johnson in the second round, a guy that was supposed to be top 10 corner. Apparently, there's possible knee issues there. I wouldn't mind taking him. He's not the exact scheme fit though. Like you'd have to look at what his man coverage kind of capabilities are. You got Xavier Watts there. You got Mike Green. You got Donovan Ezaraku. Um, if they took another edge rusher, I'd be looking to see if they trade Trey Hendrickson for a second round pick or something like that, future first or something, if that's the case. Outside of that, when I'm looking at the offensive line, I do see there being this kind of run on guards. Tate Ratledge is a guy that I would look at for sure. I think it seems like the running backs may start flying off the board here. That's good for the Bengals. Another guys like Darius Alexander, TJ Sanders, I'd be fine with them taking. I'm wondering whether they go guard here or defensive tackle. I think it's one of the two. I don't think there's another position unless they decide to go with a safety, but it seems like the safeties are kind of slow to go here outside of Nick going already. I don't know if there's another safety worth going outside of Watts right now. So I'm interested to see what ends up happening here.
I like Watts. I'm telling you right now. I think Watts. Do not be surprised if Watts is the pick in the second round. Again, Al Golden. That is his guy. He is infatuated with Watts, and guys, really after Watts, the safety. You have obviously you have Winston and I mean, you have a couple guys out there, but nobody of that level of an Emilari or a Watts. Do not be surprised if Watts is the pick here. If he's there, I could easily see the Bengals taking Watts. I do want to ask you, Ace. Let's while we're waiting for our next pick, we got a lot of time to talk about that. Let's go back. Let's go back to last night. Obviously, I think Shamar Stewart at the time. I think we were all in love with Jihad Campbell. Again, not really. I think the injury situation was definitely taken into account by not just by us, by other teams as well, as he falls all the way to 31. How are you feeling today about Stewart? We obviously saw him in Paycor. You got to meet Joe Burrow. Very funny situation there. But definitely, after listening to him get up and talk too, I really like the guy. I'll be honest with you. I'm getting more and more excited about this pick because I think his ceiling is so high. You hear all these other NFL guys around the league that are just crooning over this kid. There's a very good defensive end in Dallas that thought he was going to be his teammate and was not very happy about him not being his teammate. What do you think? What are you thinking now, Ace? Are you feeling a little bit better about it?
It's still a mixed bag for me, and I think the mixed bag for me comes in with the fact that you've taken these two young edge rushers in the first round, and you don't have a plan, at least it seems right now, for them to be set up for success. And when I say that, I look at what the room is right now. Trey Hendrickson, you brought back Joseph Osai. Miles Murphy didn't get enough snaps last year for you to know who he is. He needs to be a starter. That was one of the whole reasons of us moving on from Sam Hubbard. So now you have him there, and now you also introduce Shamar Stewart. You got Cam Sample coming back, and then you also have Johnson as well in there. And I'm just like, these guys need snaps, and it sucks because Trey Hendrickson is there, but you can't give Trey Hendrickson 800 to 900 snaps with these kids in here, and he's got a lot of potential. But I think the way to unlock that potential, similar to Miles Murphy, the shortcoming of doing that has been only giving these guys 300 snaps. Like, that's not enough for a first round pick. That's not enough to know what these guys are. And unfortunately, the best way to get the experience is putting them on the field, having them sit on the sideline and sit behind guys like Cam Sample and sitting behind Joseph Osai, who I love that we have Joseph Osai back, but let's just be real. He's not going to be here after next year with them taking these two guys. These guys need to be on the field. We need to know what we have in them. And with Miles Murphy entering into his fourth year, possibly going into an option year, I need to see 700 snaps of Miles Murphy. And so my only issue is, what is the Bengals' plan with this in order to set these guys up for success? I think that he does have a lot of potential, but we're only going to see it if he's out there on the field. So I'm still just trying to understand like what the purpose is, because I've heard them talk all about him, and I think that he has a great personality and everything, but I didn't hear any of the reporters ask them what's the plan with Miles Murphy, right? Like, what's the plan with Miles Murphy? What does this mean for him? Because I'm hearing Shamar Stewart say he's starting across from Trey Hendrickson. So
yeah, I mean, that's basically what he said.
What does this mean? Miles is a 3-tech now? I just don't know from that perspective how it works in order to set them up for success. Now, I was talking to Zim earlier about this. Yes, there is a path forward where you can have Trey Hendrickson incorporated in that and, take some of those rushing downs away from him. But I just think in order to really see these guys hit their ceiling or what their floor is, you cannot tell with giving them this orange red shirt, minimal snap kind of stuff. Like, that's my only issue with it. If the Bengals need an impact player, he cannot play 300 snaps. It has to be 400 or 500 snaps for Shamar Stewart this season. So for me, I'm just looking at it from an analytical standpoint. I love the kid. I love his family. I love the interviews that I've seen. I just don't know what the plan is. And I know I've been critical about the Bengals in terms of it being the development plan. And I hear everybody saying like, hey, it's a new coaching staff, so it's going to be different. They've been through several different coaching staffs. Ever since Zimmer, they have failed to really develop any of these defensive players. So it's still the same. Like, I'm not buying the whole this was Al Golden's pick. I still believe that Duke Tobin and Mike Potts and some of these guys made this pick, and they're going to have to make it work. And I think it's a lot to put on Al Golden's plate to not only install a brand new defense and get everybody up to speed, but also make him responsible for the development of these young guys as well.
Let me
So,
ask. Let me
hold
ask.
on.
Wait. Let me ask.
Just
I'll ask.
hold on. Just breaking
But
news in the draft. We're covering the draft here. Shadur Sanders still hasn't gone. The Saints just selected Tyler Shaw, QB at 40. Any,
Wow.
I have no idea who this guy is. You guys got any thoughts on Shadur Sanders dropping this far?
Yeah. I
Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
I've never liked him. I don't think he's very good. I just because you had the last name Sanders and you related to Dion, this kid was very inconsistent with the football, guys. He's not a winner. He's not a winner. I'm a little surprised about this, but I'm not surprised that Sanders is falling. Mon, what do you think?
I want to get back to our first round pick. I don't care about that stuff. I want to talk about the Bengals. Honestly, I do. I know it's a draft show, but it's about the Bengals. The Stewart thing is honestly, I feel a lot better about it, and I'll tell you why I feel better about it. I read Jeremiah's. I read all these draft experts, Mel Kiper, Lance Zierlein, everybody. They all said the same thing about him: nonstop motor. And with that athletic ability, I think, listen, his best football is ahead of him. Ace, I agree with you 100%. I mean, he needs 500 snaps this year. Are we about to pay Trey Hendrickson $16 to $25 million a year and take away 300 snaps from him? Mike Brown don't operate that way. I'll give you a hot take tonight. Trey Hendrickson he's going to get traded. May not be today, but I don't see him as a Bengal next year. I really don't. And I got his jersey right here autographed. I love the guy, but I think the writing's on the wall, and I think he's going to get packaged eventually. I really do.
I'm with you, Ma. Like, I didn't want to say it, but I'm just like, and I think Trey is one of the best edge rushers to ever put on stripes. I just think right now, him being 31, the future being these young guys, it's kind of very similar to a Witt situation, even though Witt was a little older when they drafted Cedric Ogbuehi and Jake Fisher. Now, we knew those guys weren't really good, but it's like they have to get on the field. You invested the pick. You invested those 2 picks, and you have to see what these kids can be, because it's not fair to the kids to put them out there, only giving them 300 snaps, and then we're like, oh, Miles Murphy sucks. Well, guess what? When I'm going back and looking at the draft classes of the same guys that he was drafted with, the Will Andersons, the guys that are out there, they're all playing 600 to 800 snaps. Like, the guy can't get out there and do anything and prove himself if they're not able to go out there and do that. And we'll do the same thing to this kid if we give him 300 snaps, but somebody else gets 700 to 800, and we see them get more sacks, and then we'll be looking at our players saying, oh, well, Shamar Stewart isn't doing anything or living up to the pick, when it's that Shamar Stewart doesn't have a chance to.
Yeah.
I just want one thing you said that makes so much sense. It's organizational malpractice in this sense, and the defensive coordinators with the Colts now. Lou Anarumo's gone, but Sam Hubbard, God love him, great Bengal. The last 2 years has played on one leg, basically. He's been injured. He's been limited. You trying to tell me Miles Murphy, your number 1 pick, can't get more snaps? I mean, they would rather roll out Sam Hubbard, who's at 65, 70%. They messed up. They messed up big time.
Okay,
And,
so let me throw some teams out here to you guys, because I think one of our commenters even said that the time has passed to trade Trey, and it's really looking like that. Any trade that happens after the draft is just going to F us over, because we're not going to get anything this year. So let me throw some teams that are out here. The big one that comes up to me, obviously, the Colts sit at 45. Reuniting him with Lou Anarumo would be big. There was some offseason scuttlebutt about maybe being traded there, followed by 46 with the Rams. Now, the Rams picked up another first-round pick next year, I believe, and they talked to the GM or owner, whoever it was, and said, "Oh, you actually have 2 picks in the first round next year." And he said, "For now, to me, give me 46 and that second first round pick next year. You got to take it. You can't let that happen. And the Rams have all that money in the world. They'll pay him whatever the hell he wants. They'll guarantee it for 3 years. Ace brought it up earlier on, and the world we live in these days is kind of those signals that you got to watch. But he said Trey's no longer following the Bengals on Instagram. It's a very passive aggressive thing, but it's also a telltale sign. If Jake pisses me off, I'm going to unfollow him on X for a few days, until he comes back and gives me the money that I demand to produce this show. It's the same thing. So that, I don't know. The time's coming near.
Yeah, the reason I think he might get traded, and I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite Bengals. He's not going to get long term. He wants a 3-year contract extension. He's not going to get that with what the Bengals did yesterday. I just don't see that happening.
No.
And I mean, they don't have to trade him draft weekend. They could trade him during the summer for a pick in the next draft. But
It doesn't help us though.
They could trade him for a player. They could trade him for. There's more options. They could trade him for a player too.
Well, Jake, what are your thoughts? My opinion, I think Jake has shared this with me too. If you don't trade him in this draft, he's either playing for the Bengals or he's retiring and sitting out. Jake, what are your thoughts on this? Because I think we're going to screw ourselves over if we don't get compensation now. We're either trade him now or work on re-signing him.
Trey's not getting traded. He's not getting traded. He's going to be a Bengal next year. Listen, the time of trading Trey is past, gentlemen. You're not going to get nearly what? Why would you trade Trey Hendrickson? Why would you, Ace? This is a Bengals podcast. Ace, don't.
TJ Sanders just got taken, bro.
Who did?
The Bills traded up and took TJ Sanders.
Oh wow! They gave up a lot for him too. But back to Trey, guys. If you're going to trade, the time has passed to trade Trey. The time has passed for that. I don't see them trading him. I don't see them moving him. I think the Bengals think he is under contract, and we know that Mike Brown and family are very stubborn. If they were going to move Trey, they would have done it already. And I think Trey.
Jake, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, of course.
Can the Bengals play hardball with him and say, "Hey, you got to play on your $16 million this year"? How's that going to work out?
Oh, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be a distraction. We know how it's going to. I mean, that's going to be a very bad, volatile situation. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying we know how this team operates. And I just don't see them moving Trey. If they were going to do it, they should have done it last night or sometime today before the draft started. But you can't take a third or a fourth or something like that for Trey Hendrickson. He is one of the elite pass rushers in this league. If a team comes up here now and wants to throw a couple twos and maybe a first next year, then maybe, but I just don't see them. The Bengals want what they want, and I just don't see them moving from it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, it's what I said before. If right now we are in the window where if a Trey Hendrickson trade is going to happen, it has to happen in the next 20 minutes. It's got to be a pick better than what you currently have, and it's got to be something else. A first round next year, or say you get the pick 46 and a third round and a fourth round. It's got to be multiple picks this year, or a second rounder this year, and a second or first rounder next year. It's just the time is now.
Multiple national pundits have said this over the last few weeks. Teams have offered the Bengals picks. Obviously not what the Bengals want. So there are offers out there. And I think in a way, every time the Bengals, they sign Chase and Higgins, teams out there are realizing they're not going to give Hendrickson a big contract. They're telling his agent that. And then at the same time, they just drafted a defensive end. They could draft another one. That weakens the Bengals position. It weakens it. So I don't want Trey Hendrickson gone. I love Trey Hendrickson. I want him to stay. I don't want a distraction. I don't want him holding out till September. I don't want that. This team doesn't need that. We don't need it. And you know what? If we trade him for a player or a pick next year, it does help the Bengals.
My
Frees up
point
$16
is
million to sign another player during the summer or to extend, maybe Cam Taylor Britt rebounds and has a great season. Guess what? They got $16 million to play with.
it's going to weaken their position, but maybe it'll also soften their position. We just got the most athletic defensive edge in the draft, so maybe now they're sitting and saying, well, maybe we don't need to play such hardball. Maybe we can go get a little something for him now because he's our next Trey Hendrickson. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't see them again. When I look at this edge room, guys, I see guys that can complement Trey Hendrickson. I don't see any one of these guys being able to replace a Trey Hendrickson. And if you're going to replace a Trey Hendrickson, you have to do it on night one of the draft, right? I mean, you got to. You were talking about trying to fill a hole if Trey does leave. You're not going to fill that with the guys that we have on this roster. I mean, again, I'm with you, Mon. I love Shamar Stewart. I love this pick now. The more that I've watched film on him today, and I mean, I've read everything I could read about him. The guy is violent off the line of scrimmage. He has the best, one of the best first steps they said in recent history. I mean, this guy gets off the ball. He doesn't finish, but like Micah Parsons said earlier today, when you can't always look at production. Micah Parsons' production wasn't that great in college either. This guy has all the tools that you need to be successful in this league. It's up to our coaches to find it out of him, but again,
Well,
this guy is one of the top edge rushers of this draft, but he's still not going to be able to replace a Trey Hendrickson. And I just think,
Trey Hendrickson's not going to play for $16 million. He'll come in the last time. I mean, the deadline for him to come in before getting the max fines and losing the season, whatever, he'll come in. That's like October. He will not play for $16 million. Now he wants to pay. He wants to get paid 30. Reports said the Bengals offered him 30. Was it really 30? Did they offer him 30 with 21 with $8 million in incentives, 25 with $5 million in incentives? I mean, they're not there. They're not there. I don't want that distraction. I want Trey to come in happy. But if it's not going to happen, what if a defensive end for a team gets hurt in August? Hey, Cincinnati will give you a first and a third next draft. That makes the Bengals better.
It does, but does it make him better this year, Mon?
He's not going to play on $16 million.
yeah.
Trey Hendrickson will not report on $16 million.
Real quick, Mason Taylor, another tight end that we talked about and mocked a few times, just went to the Jets here in the second round. The thing that Jake was saying is very paramount. Like, what did we see a lot of that happened last year was Trey Hendrickson. He could have had probably 25 sacks, or he could have had pressures that led to another sack, but he had nobody on the other side. And sometimes when he did have somebody on the other side, they pushed him right into him. You put Stewart out there with Trey Hendrickson, our sack numbers are going to go way up because they're going to be collapsing into each other. But I agree with both of you. Like they're better together. Trey's not going to play on that 16 million. So it's either we find a way to give him more money this year and let him test the market next year, or we figure out how to sign him because he's not gonna play for 16 this year. He's very adamant.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm a little salty tonight. I'm one of the guys I wanted was drafted, and I've been reflecting about this draft, and I'm not trying to be negative, Bengal fans. Thanks for following us. I appreciate it. And if this comes across negative, I'm sorry. I wanted Nick Imawari, okay? Like Malachi Starks. Now we're talking about Xavier Watts. I just want everybody to know this. 6 transactions in 2 years to replace Jesse Bates. 6 transactions. Draft picks and free agent signings to replace one guy. And now, it's sort of tied into Trey Hendrickson also. We're going to have a summer of distraction. We don't need that. And Katie Brown at the meeting, he just needs to be happy, this and that. We've been so fair to him. Pay the man. 35 sacks in 2 years. do the right thing, man. Just do the right thing. Fix transactions to replace Jesse Bates. Just remember that when we pick Watts here in about 5 minutes, in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you're right. I mean, there's no way for there's no way for me to even argue that point because you're 100% right. And that's again, that's what I've been talking about in this year's draft is, man, we have got to find a way to fix the back end of this defense, and safety is a very sneaky need for the Cincinnati Bengals. It is. It's frustrating because I guess that's kind of my point, Mon, is that if we have another Jesse Bates situation with Trey Hendrickson, how long is it going to take us to replace Trey Hendrickson? Right? I'm agreeing with you. Is that the Bengals have spent all this money and all this time trying to replace Jesse Bates instead of just paying him. We're going to see the same issues with Trey Hendrickson.
Eric, who's some of the best players available? Let's get back to the draft.
Let's get to it. Our guy Zim's here.
Hey, look at this.
It's Tate Ratledge at 49.
Here.
Well, he just answered the question. He just answered it.
Yeah, I just had to check in with you guys. I just want to tell everybody I appreciate y'all rocking with Wincinnati. Where I'm at is like a loud background. I'm gonna try to get on for the pick, but I just say, bro, just get it over with and just get the guard, bro. Just get the guard.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it. Let's double up. Let's get 2 guards. Let's get another defensive lineman. Let's just reinforce them trenches. Let's enhance our weaknesses and go.
Yeah, make your weaknesses strengths. See you soon. So, hey, before we get to that, we got a super chat from Fuzzy Balls. Let's go ahead and what do you guys think about this? Trade to the Colts for 45 and defensive end Kwity Paye. You taking that trade?
I think it would have happened already. I mean,
I
would take a second round pick and a player. I think Paul Dehner then mentioned it on their pod this morning. I mean, they said that the chances of him potentially being traded today, it could happen. But if it did happen, it would have to involve a player. It would have to involve a player. So I don't know.
It would definitely have to involve a player, and it would have to involve multiple picks. I mean, I'm not just taking a second round.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not just taking a second round pick and a guy that is a project. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for Trey Hendrickson, guys. We're talking about a guy that should have been the defensive player of the year in the NFL, guys. The trade talk. I mean, they have to wow the Bengals in order for that to happen. I think I would take if somebody does somebody have 2 second round picks in this draft still? Is there still two second?
I think you're probably talking about the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the Rams. Hey, didn't the Rams get a first rounder next year, train up to
that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier on. The pick 46 and that second first rounder next year. T Brookie puts a question out here, and I think Jake and I are very much on the same page. Mon doesn't believe that he's going to get traded. He thinks he's going to hold out. We all want to keep Trey. I think Mon's just thinking we're not going to be able to. I want to keep Trey. I want to extend him, but if we aren't going to if we're going to continue down this path, if a team blows us away with a deal, and for me, that's a pick in the next 5 picks and either a third and a fourth, or a pick in the next 5 picks and a first or a second next year. I have to be blown away to even consider trading Trey. Otherwise, I'm rolling the dice on rolling with him and trying to figure something out to get him to play this year.
Yeah, I just guys, I cannot see the Bengals trading Trey, and I just think, man, we have a Fuzzy. I'm not trying to poo-poo Kwity Paye. I'm just saying you're talking about one of the best defense players in the NFL. I got to have more than an 8-sack guy and a second-round pick to replace Trey Hendrickson, and I just don't. I don't see that being the case unless a team comes in and just absolutely throws the house at the Bengals. I just listen. The Bengals are in a Super Bowl window right now, guys. I mean, we're not that far off. This team went 9-8 last year with the worst defense that we have had in 2 decades, and we're just not that far off. Mon, go ahead.
No, I agree with you, Jake. We're not that far off, but we do have some glaring needs. Everybody that loves the Bengals knows this. I'm not going to repeat what they are. Let me ask you this question right now. Ace said it before he left. Will Johnson's a top 15 player. If he's there at 49, I know his medicals are a little scary, apparently. I mean, talk about value and making your team better. To get a top 15, top 20 player at 49, how can they say no?
Yeah.
I'm really, honestly, guys, I am in the trade down right now. I really am.
Yeah.
I am. I feel like, listen, Mon and I both love Imawari. That was one of my hopes for this round. He is obviously not there. There's been a couple guys that have gone off the board that I would love to have seen the Bengals take. At this point, if you can go get a 3rd round pick in this draft, how do you not trade down here? I mean, I just
Okay.
I see value. There's a lot of value trading down right now.
Let's circle the wagons here because Mon had a good question before he blinked out. We're just a few picks away. Some of the top players on the board: Tate Ratledge, linked to the Bengals. Tate Ratledge, Xavier Watts, Mike Green, Jared Wilson, Arante Ursary. The 49ers just took a defensive tackle, and the Dallas Cowboys just took Donovan Ezraku. So another guy that's off the board that people had talked about to the Bengals. But we're not. Do we really think they were going to go with another edge? I don't think so. So let's talk about some of these guys that are here. Again, Mike Green, Will Johnson, like you said. Shedeur Sanders is there. Does somebody finally trade up to get Shedeur Sanders? Arante Ursary, Kevin Winston Jr., Nick Squarton, Omar Norman Lott, Tate Ratledge. Let's keep going. Xavier Watts, said that. Trapillo, Josh Farmer, Cam Scatabo. There's a lot of guys still there. Any of those guys, your new draft crush or your 2nd round crush, guys?
Well, I mean, right now, for me, it's Ratledge or it's Watts. That's who it is for me right now. I think those are our 2 biggest holes, and I think those 2 guys have the value at 49. I think Watts is valued at 49. I think Ratledge is valued at 49. So for me, the next pick better have the name Ratledge or Watts in it. If it does, I'm feeling very good about that pick, Mom. What do you think?
Yeah, everybody you listed, a lot of solid players. I mean, I'm in the minority here. I know a lot of people on draft, Bengal Twitter want Ratledge. I've put him in 50 of my mock drafts that I've done over the last few months. I actually think Wilson's going to be a better player. I know he's not as big. His teammate played center. I think can play guard. He's up there. I wouldn't mind having him. I think he's more athletic. Ratledge has been hurt. He's 24 years old. So, but don't get me wrong. We draft him. It's a big need, and I think he starts day one. I said it last night before we started. I want our 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick. They all have one thing in common. They need to come in and produce, play a lot this year. They have to play a lot and play well.
Yes, I agree, Mon. 100%. I think we are both. I think we are both in that boat of this has got to be. We throw me one of those Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, sure.
I want to get Dolly's take on some of this stuff too. Dolly, right there.
She's singing a new song tonight. 1 to 5. instead of 9 to 5, 1 to 5. We'll be playing that tonight. And
What was that song
Yeah.
that you did with Kenny Rogers?
I don't know. I don't know many of her.
What was it
I don't
called?
know. I don't know many of her songs. I
damn.
really don't. I just saw her. She was cheap on Amazon, so I got her. I have a tradition of doing the cardboard cutouts, and it's Dolly this year. We had Danny DeVito one year, Justin Bieber, got a bunch of people. So we'll see. Hopefully, we can add a sports figure one year, Hall of Fame Bengal.
Mon, the Colts just take Gite Tuamalo. Remember, we had talked about him. We had talked about him on one of our mocks. The edge guy from, I think, Ohio State, right?
Yeah, it's Islands in the Stream. Somebody told you
Islands in the Stream. Who said that?
Harold Farmer. Thank you, Harold.
Harold, thank you very much, Harold. Islands in the Stream, yes.
Very productive at Ohio State. We did mock him in one of our shows. I think he had 12.5 sacks last year. He's a good player. They won a national championship. Ohio State is a football factory. They do it right in Columbus. Don't forget Jack Sawyer still available also. A lot of people, he came in and talked to the Bengals. We're going to see how this shakes out. We're going to be on the clock, guys, in about 10 minutes. 15 minutes.
Let me ask you. T. Brookie said, "Mon, are you lonely over there?" He's got Dolly. They are they're on an island in the stream. That is what they are.
Okay, I have another cardboard cutout I'll bring over because Brookie, yeah, you're killing me. Okay.
Is it, don't you have a Chewbacca one? I want to see that.
I do have Chewbacca's here. I have Keanu Reeves. I have.
I do want to get your take on this, Mon, and we'll get right back to the big. I do want to get your take on this because right now the story of this draft is Shedeur Sanders obviously falling. What are your thoughts on the Shedeur Sanders thing? Is this something
I'll tell you. You know what?
John has created.
Now, I know I said I didn't want to talk about it. I genuinely feel sorry for him. I do. His pictures on TV. I get it, Colorado, Hunter, his dad, a little brash. It rubbed some people the wrong way. They enjoyed seeing Colorado struggle. I get it, but I this is just the way I'm wired. I don't want people to have joy out of somebody's misery, if that makes sense. The poor guy, I get it. Maybe he didn't interview well, a little over the top cockiness. I hate to see his picture on TV. It makes me sad. It does. I hope he gets picked. I don't think he's going to be a great pro. I'm not a big fan of his game. I'm not. But
Yeah.
We'll see. Somebody's going to pick him.
I step away for like 3 minutes, and all of a sudden we're going off the rails talking about Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream, trying to pick out what song sang this.
Listen, if you were here, you might have been able to help us with Islands in the Stream.
T. Brookie thinks I'm lonely.
And then I would have started singing a rendition of Ghetto Superstar. That is what you are.
Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I really, all of this aside, I really, oh man, I really want Xavier Watts. I really do.
You can't pass on guard. You can't pass on guard. Position of need. There's positions of need, and there is, oh my God, you better get this effing position or Joe Burrow is going to die. And that's guard. Get an effing guard. Don't make me drop the second F-bomb on the Bengals pulse tonight. Get an effing guard or trade down and get another pick.
Listen, I don't know. Caden Watts said, thanks, Jake. You are welcome. You are welcome, Caden Watts. Listen, I am not opposed to a guard here as long as it's somebody of value. Eric, I'm so tired of watching this defense these last 2 years. And
you know what I'm tired of watching? Joe Burrow on his ass.
I know what you're tired of watching.
Because safety is going to save him.
No, but again, I go back to our defense, the struggle. The 9-8 record was not because of guard. The 9-8 record, a guard would not have made us better, Eric. A defense that was just average.
But I'm saying a guard, you're looking at a microscopic slice. You're looking at one piece of the pie, as Duke says. You're looking at last effing year. I'm looking at the Joe Burrow torn ACL. I'm looking at Joe Burrow, the torn wrist ligament, because we couldn't protect him. We got lucky last year because he was phenomenal escaping those crazy things. He's not going to do that every year. Protect this damn man. Get him his guard now, and then go get him another one.
Eric, let me stick up for Jake here. I agree with you 100%. We're picking 49. If there's a guard prospect that's ranked 50, 60, 70, that's a third. I mean, I don't want to reach for – I don't want another Billy Price. I don't want that. If there's a candidate that's 15 to 20 that potentially could be, how can you pass that up? Because to me, drafting Tate at 49, you're going to get a comparable player at 81. I really think you are.
Okay, and I'm hold on. We got some breaking news here, but I'm all for that. I'm just saying we've bitched about for how many years taking fourth round guards and them not solidifying. They can finally man up and do it.
You're right. You are.
But
you are right.
if we take Xavier Watts, I'll be just as happy about it. I'll be happy about it. But you better be on the phone with Brandon Scherf. The Rams have taken tight end Terrence Ferguson, and the Cardinals have selected Will Johnson at 47. So we will not be getting Will Johnson.
Man, them freaking Cardinals are killing me, man.
So I know the Cardinals. The
Sons of
Cardinals.
bitches, man.
It's always somebody, Ma, like the Cardinals.
I will never ever root for them in any game. I don't care. If they play the Ravens, I hope the Ravens beat them by 50.
Okay, so let me. Hey, there he is. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Oh, there he is. There he is. Let me ask you guys this. Let me throw this out there to you. Here we go. Ready? You got 3 things to choose from. I'm going to throw it out there. Trade down, Xavier Watts, or Tate Ratledge. What are you doing?
I'm trading down. I'm trading down and taking Tate Ratledge.
Mom, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to switch over. Justin's on. I took the headphones off. What was it again? Right now,
you got 3 choices, and I want to hear what Justin says too. You got 3 choices. You're taking Tate Ratledge at 49. You're taking Xavier Watts at 49, or you are trading down from 49. What are you doing?
Trading down.
What about
Justin? What are you doing?
I'm sure for those 3,
Johnson
trading down.
Johnson got picked.
Trading down. Paul Daner. Guys, Paul Daner just tweeted this out a minute ago. Do the Bengals move back here? Notable options, position value, connections still to the board, Tate Ratledge and Xavier Watts. And then he drew a line. So, again, I think my question, very notable, trade back, Tate Ratledge or Xavier Watts. It sounds like that is what is going on right now if Paul Daner is in the know.
I would trade back. They need more picks. We need there's been 3 press conferences with 3 questions asked by Duke Tobin. Talks, I need more picks. So I think they're going to trade back.
And this is your last option to really pick them up because you're not going to get a lot in these next rounds. This is the only one that you really can pick up some.
Will Johnson just went, so there's one intriguing option.
I don't know.
Board.
yeah?
I will. Okay, I want to trade back, but I'm telling you, if Watts is there at 49, which I think it will be,
So
Golden's going to get his man. Golden will
the
get his man.
there's breaking news. The Texans just jumped us. They are on the clock at 48.
Shit.
Who could they be targeting?
This could be.
It could be Watts.
It could be Ratledge.
I hope it is why.
You know
because
what?
if your complaint is that Jordan Battle isn't athletic enough, I'm not sure why you're going to go get Xavier Watts.
Thank you.
I think just Watts because of knowing the defense and being able to call it from the back end. I'm very big on communication on the back end, and that's why I am high on Watts, just because I feel like that's what we've lacked on the back end of the defense is communication. All right, so what do we have going on? The TV's in the other room. What do we have going on?
Okay. Vegas is on the clock. No, Vegas traded.
No,
Yeah.
Vegas traded with the Texans. The Texans are at the clock on 48. We're still waiting for TV is a little behind, still waiting on the Cardinals pick. So we're going to be ahead when we finally
Texans
get
did
it.
have a bunch of picks, so
Yeah.
if this
They
is
did get rid of a lot. The Texans did get rid of a lot of their offensive linemen this offseason. So
they took the Minnesota tackle Ursery,
Who did? Did
the
they?
Texans.
Son of a gun. I
who's
think
reporting that?
Justin Wells is.
It's
Justin Wells.
Draft Diamonds on Twitter.
Okay, so yeah, Ari Marov
There's
reported
multiple
it as
people
well.
saying it's going to be Ursery.
Arante
draft
Ursery goes to the Texans at 48.
Great player, but he's a tackle, so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure why they jump us for this, but okay.
Why did they
Fuzzy
dump
Balls
him
has-
on the screen?
Fuzzy Balls has another super chat here saying if Eric drops a second F bomb, he'll still be trail Mama T by at least 20. I think Mama T has the right to use as many F bombs as she wants. I think I get like one every 3 years, and I used it last night. So
Who are the other than Watts? What was the other option that they're saying?
Ratledge.
I think Ratledge maybe.
I think you can trade back here depending on how far you go back.
Yeah, I'm okay.
If it comes down to those two, I'm going Ratledge.
I am honestly. I was saying this earlier, Justin. I just think the way this board has fallen the second round, I don't see it hurting us trading back and maybe trying to pick up a third. Like,
I agree. I
yeah.
100% agree. This round has been extremely favorable for us.
yes, yeah, I think so. I think there's still going to be guys, even if you move down one or two picks. You guys see, I mean, these teams are giving up third and fourth round picks to move up a couple spots. I don't see why the Bengals don't jump in on that, Mom.
yeah. Well, and just to add into that, I know we're a Dolly Parton world today, but you know what's the song lyric? You can't always get what you want.
Michael
Oh,
Scott.
Michael Scott. Okay, that's what she said. That's you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And some of the best things that have just happened are some of these guys that you can't pass up are now off the board, and the Bengals can't be justified in going and taking a corner when they need a guard and a safety and a linebacker.
Well, at least we have some optimism on Twitter. Someone named BCincy915 tweeted, "We're going to draft someone shitty that none of us wanted. I promise you, because that's how we draft."
To my prior point too, Arante Ursery being gone, a tackle that they were going to convert to guard. We don't need more converts. We need some guys that just can come in and ball out day one. So not the worst thing. Mom, what were you going to say before I cut you off?
I forget. I don't know. I'm on
Oh,
Twitter
you're welcome.
trying to jump here, find out.
Are we on the clock, guys, or the
Yeah,
Texans?
we are on the clock per Paul Dana.
We are on the
Yeah.
clock, but TV is behind. So we're refreshing Twitter feverishly. If you guys get the news before me, tell me, because we'll go with the breaking news banner first.
I got this is another good one. Watching Devil Hockey and the Bengals are about to make a bleep draft pick. Bro, I'm going to kill myself. Love the optimism. This is good.
Oh, wait. Are the Bengals not going to? Are they not going to go to commercial for a Bengals draft?
Yeah.
No, they're going to go to commercial. Don't you worry.
Yeah, there's plenty of time before their pick for them to go to commercial.
I don't know, guys. I would love to see get an extra third right here, man. I would really. Who day? Once again, hey, we do want to say thank you guys, all of you, for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Mike?
It's night two, day two of the draft, and we love being here talking football with you guys. Yeah, Eric.
They're just going to go through the best available, and this is not just for us, but for possible trade-ups. Mike Green is still there. Darius Alexander. Shedeur Sanders is still there. Elijah Araujo. Samar Turner. There's some guys that people could want to come up and get.
Here, I'm gonna lose it.
I would love to be the team that somebody picks and says, "Hey, we want Shedeur Sanders right here. What do we need to give you, Bengals, to move up?"
Yeah, I don't think anyone's trading up for Shedeur Sanders.
No, I don't think so either.
Hey,
unless Saskatchewan wants to
the
get
other
involved.
Shamar from Texas A&M.
All right. So we still haven't heard anything, right? We still haven't heard anything yet.
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
The longer they go, there's probably
What up, Cornell? Who day, Cornell?
what if they double up and go defensive end twice? What if they go after Green? That would be unbelievable.
That's all the sack production you need.
I you know what? I would be fine with with Green here. That'd be if they don't go O-line here, Green would be the one exception I make.
Here we go. Ursery was the pick. So
Yeah.
here we go. We are on. We are officially on. I know we've been on for a couple minutes, but
You question my news? I don't break news unless it's news, man.
I would never question your sources, Eric. They are.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I mean,
guys,
there is a possibility that we could have Shamar Stewart and Mike Green without making any trades. That would be pretty crazy. If this is not a guard or a trade back to get a guard, the Bengals better be on the phone to Brandon Scherf right now.
The Bengals have an insane amount of players, and they're going to reach for somebody that we don't know.
Yep.
Just,
Yep. According to James Rapine, the Bengals take Demetrius Knight.
linebacker.
what?
from South Carolina.
That's the guy that I think Mon actually mocked him. I think Mon mocked him in one of our drafts.
Fifth round.
Wow.
Better be
there
calling
you go.
Sheriff. Sheriff better be in town.
He's 25 years old. Nice. Great.
94 overall rank.
Guy's been in college since 2017.
Is he a doctor?
Yeah, a lot
He's
of
a
people
knight.
were in college for 7 years.
Listen,
So-
you guys were so excited to get him in your first mock draft. Don't pretend you don't know who he is.
No, I know who he is. And listen, we have talked about this on our show that
Hey.
linebacker is a sneaky need.
Yeah.
Watch
Right.
watch Tim Crumride make the pick right now.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go watch this.
Yeah, Pratt's officially gone.
Wow. Wow.
We'll trade him for a bag of.
Hey, I'm going to pause.
It's a physical brand of football. So you want to play downhill against the run, you're going to love it. Demetrius Knight Jr. At times he struggled to cover that.
So everybody's sitting in silence watching Tim Crumride make the pick. Do some narration here. Bengals go Demetrius Knight at 49. Feels a lot like our pick in the first round, doesn't it? Nobody that we didn't mention him once. I don't think he was in the top. He was not even in the top 25 ranked players via ESPN's draft tracker.
Well, I mean, we're well known for our ability to find diamonds in the rough. So,
Diamonds in the sea? Is that the song?
They are really down on their linebackers. Pratt's gone.
okay.
Yeah, but how are they high on their guards? If you're so down on your linebackers, at least playoff P showed up at the end of the season. Hey, Justin. Hopefully Justin doesn't run off because we didn't get his comments on Stewart, and I really wanted to get his take on Stewart because he's our draft expert. Can you?
Well,
He can come back. We'll get it before the night's over.
He just grabbed a bottle of liquor and started chugging it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. We didn't.
so yeah, no, I like Stewart in terms of what he brings to the table. He's definitely a guy I was looking at in a lot of, when we were doing a lot of our mocks. He was a guy that was often there for me in the first round. I think it's odd that we're gonna 2 years after taking another end with a lot of physical upside, but not a ton of production in college, but more than Stewart had, that we're going to go down that path again. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, if it works out, and I think it can, he's a young guy. He's 21 years old. He's got all the tools. You're talking about huge wingspan. Ran in the 4.5s. He's 6'5", almost 270. There's a lot of things to like there, but you would have liked to have seen a lot, more production in college. And there's really no way around that. I don't really know how you get around that fact. So,
Yeah.
And as we talked about, we saw time and time again as we ran through the simulations and the mock draft, we felt like there was going to be opportunities later to address the edge position. So I felt like at 17, you either really need to go tackle, goal line, or safety. Those are the positions where you saw more of a drop off. I didn't do it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little perplexed by it. I mean, do we need linebacker? Yeah, we talked about that the last month and a half. Linebacker was a need. And we mocked him in one of the mock drafts in the second round. I don't know.
Can I say this, guys, too? Because let me say this too, guys. We talked about this. This is a very thin linebacker class, right? You had Schlesinger and Knight, in the second round, and after that, there is a big drop off after Knight. This, I think, was probably best player available pick. It's a need, but I think it's also there's a big drop off. And Jermaine Pratt, guys, this is it for Jermaine Pratt now. I mean, any thought that Jermaine Pratt was going to be a Bengal is now over. You talk about somebody getting traded tonight or tomorrow, it's going to be Jermaine Pratt. He will be traded this weekend, no doubt, if they can get something for him, I guess.
Yeah, just reading some of his comps. He's comped to be Jermaine Pratt, so we're just replacing him with a slightly younger Jermaine Pratt. Not a lot, a slightly younger Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the age. I'm not a fan of the age, but I don't know.
Go ahead.
It's so frustrating when you have glaring needs. And yes, linebacker was a need, but it wasn't the glaring need. Like,
now
are we going to have to now are we going to be forced to trade back up to grab a guard and lose yet another pick?
Yeah, Brugler had Dame Brugler, who I think is the best, has him as a third or fourth rounder. And what is his age here? He's 25.
25 in January.
Yeah, he's 25.
He'll be 26 at the end of this season.
Like I said, I'm not a fan of the age. I'm not a fan of the age. I think that's probably the biggest knock on this guy. But this is they had to replace Jermaine Pratt.
He would have been a great pick in the third or the fourth, but to take him in the second, when you need starters, you need impact starters. Fuzzy got a super chat here, and I think he's what I've been saying. Fuzzy will be really pissed if we don't have our O-line solidified. Why jeopardize Joe's health and hope for the best? That's what I've been saying for a couple months now. I know we need defense, but defense means jack crap if you don't have Joe Burrow healthy. Jake Browning is not taking us to win a Super Bowl. He might win some games. He might get us to the playoffs. He's not Joe effing Burrow. And now we're waiting until the third round to see if another offensive lineman falls to us. And then what if, the Bengals could go and take a safety in the third round. What if Xavier Watts is still there? Now what are they going to do? They put themselves in a situation where they have to draft a guard, and they're going to have to pass on a great talent like Xavier Watts or somebody like that. If you take Ratledge here, you open yourself up to take a Demetrius Knight in the third, a Xavier Watts, somebody that falls. Instead, this very much seems like a Jackson Carman pick where didn't they take Carman in the second when they could have got him in the fourth? Damn.
I'm really not mad about this pick. I'm really not. I mean,
But are you not mad that they took someone in the second that's been mocked in the third and the fourth? That's what pisses me
well,
off. I'm happy. I think he could be a great player on our team, but he's not. He shouldn't have even. He's overdrafted, and that's the one thing we criticize him so much for. That 2021 draft where they just royally screwed it up. They overdrafted players because they thought they needed them.
yeah.
They need to cut that out.
Listen, I'm not. Again, Eric, I'm not saying that. My argument is this: there's a big drop off after Knight, and if you are getting rid of Jermaine Pratt, you don't have a replacement for him right now on this football team.
Jake, when Schlesinger was just picked in the second round,
yes,
Mel Kiper said, he goes, after the Schlesinger, the linebacker falls off a cliff. He said that. Schlesinger was picked 10 before Knight.
yes.
Knight's a fourth-round player. I don't have a problem with addressing linebacker. I really don't. And guys, everybody that's listening, if I'm wrong, come back and let me have it. I want to be wrong. He was picked 40, 50 picks too soon.
Yeah.
And it's just that he wasn't there on the value board. I mean, Mel Kiper, Klatt, is that his name? Joel Klatt? Oh, the guy on that does the Fox games.
Yeah.
You know, they said when Schlesinger was picked, the drop off from there with the next linebacker is like falling off a cliff.
I don't disagree with that. I think this Knight. I just heard somebody the other day talking about that this guy was an easy day two starter. Listen. Mel Kiper told me yesterday that Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in this draft.
We're not listening to Mel Kiper.
I'm not really on the Mel Kiper bandwagon right now.
You're having personal conversations with Mel Kiper? What the hell? You're holding out on us? We could have had him on the show.
Listen, he told the entire country that Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, you were watching that draft coverage. Meanwhile, Mon and I were actually providing draft coverage here that people wanted to listen to. Zach Taylor, this is shocking to me because to me this says they would have taken him earlier. Zach says waiting to pick Knight felt like waiting to pick Logan Wilson back in 2020. Ticks all the trades, great mature leader. Yeah, of course he's mature. He's 25 years old. He was possibly out of high school for 7 frickin' years. He was the 84th ranked player on the board, and we took him at 49. That's the thing that we criticize the Bengals the most for. I'm all for this guy being a great linebacker, taking over for Jermaine Pratt, but not at 49 when you've got the 50th ranked player is a guard. Take him. Plug him in. Not only is he the 50th ranked player on the board, you're taking him at 49. He also played with your right tackle at Georgia and has a built-in relationship with him already.
Eric, obviously, this is a Captain Obvious comment on my part. The Bengals have their own board, and it doesn't agree with ours.
Yeah, you know what? It's a scratch and sniff board. They scratch it and they see if the player smells like they want, and then they go draft them. And the ones that don't, then they just move on.
Okay, I think we need a 20-minute cooling off period. We're going to come back for the third round later, right?
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Upright.
Okay, I have a bottle of Moscato that I'm going to start chugging, and I'm going to do it with the third round pick.
I'm going to get the Bengals Fireball whiskey, and if this third round pick is not a guard, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 shots done on the show, and
Eric,
at least 10 F-bombs.
We live in the same city, Eric. I'm calling the fire department to come over for a wellness check on you. I'm worried about you.
Listen, I know this is crazy talk, but if we move up, are we coming back on right away?
Listen, okay, so here's the game plan.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll come back, right?
Here's the game plan. We're gonna log off for now. We're gonna go put the Timberwolves game on the other TV. Have that set up for later. As soon as when the Bengals are within 10 picks, we're gonna come back. And if they trade into a pick, we'll be back immediately. So stay near your computers. We'll shut this down. I'll set up a new room. We'll schedule it for what pick are we at now? 53. We've got 27 picks to go. What's 27 times 5? So we'll schedule this for about 10 o'clock, and we'll be back as soon as we
300
can.
people in here. Listen to me. Our third round pick is going to be a guy named Wyatt Millum from West Virginia. Write it down.
And then he's going to sing country. It's going to happen. Mon's going to sing Country Roads with Dolly
Eric,
Parton backing him up.
I used to be a recording artist in Lebanon. All right.
Yeah.
I have skills. All right. So
I didn't know. Did they record records over there? That's pretty impressive.
listen, I got a polyp now. I can't sing like I used to, but I'm a talented man. We'll see you guys.
You're a talent. You got to get this right. If you're gonna roll with that, you got to say I'm a talented Mon. Come on, go full shtick here.
Hey Ross, tell him
There was
West Virginia, baby. All
I
right.
feel like Mon has already started drinking.
big hit over there was my favorite goat.
Hey, you hear the sirens in the background, Eric? They're coming to take your blood pressure. They're worried about you. They don't want you to stroke out.
They don't need to worry about me.
You
They need
yelled
to
at
worry
Jake
about
3 times. Jake, are you okay? Do you need help, Jake?
I'm good.
Jake already hit the sauce. He's happy with the 84th ranked player at 49. I don't know what the
Oh my
hell's going
God,
on.
Eric.
Okay.
Remember how much hell you gave me about me crashing out. Just remember this, Eric, because I'm telling you right now, if Knight ends up being a dude, Eric, I'm gonna do what you've done to me for the last 12 months. Making sure the receipts are there.
There's a
We
difference.
can't do it because we can't cut up the splice up the nugget like he
That's
can.
true.
There is a difference. I want to be wrong. Jake wants to be right. He would have rather Mim stayed on the sideline all year. I'll be happy to say,
all right.
I'm glad that we took him in the second. All right, guys, let's get out of here. We'll be back and we'll schedule this. And as soon as something happens, if we trade up or if we're about 10 picks away, we'll be back on the air to go through all this again.
Call me, boys. Call me. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.